We've got the Lexus UX Hybrid, and it's got a bit of a bubbly personality.
Every once in a while, a car falls through the cracks. I've never driven the UX, so let's get in, take it for a spin. All right.
Power.
Ooh, this is the Lexus UX. What's under the hood of this one, Andrea?
A 2-liter 4-cylinder engine with Lexus Hybrid Drive. It has an ECVT, 181 horsepower, standard all-wheel drive, and you can get up to 700 kilometers, 445 miles for every fill.
You get a lot of good questions. We're going to answer them in Questions, Coffee, and Cars. That comes up about halfway through the video.
We've also got vital stats where we talk about resale value and reliability.
But right now, we're going to get into what do you get with the UX? What are the key standard features?
The Lexus UX Hybrid comes standard with a 7-inch display screen, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, power windows with auto up and down, heated leather-wrapped steering wheel, Nuluxe heated and ventilated front seats, 8-way power adjustable driver and passenger seats, a moonroof, LED headlamps, and 18-inch wheels.
There's an EV button. Does it do anything else? What else can we put it in, Andrea?
Put it in S for subscribe, and if you can hit the notification bell, you'll be notified when the videos drop, and then you can watch them all.
We do 5 videos a week. The important ones are the couple car reviews. That's what we're doing right now. We drop the first one on Wednesday afternoon.
The next one is on Saturday.
And if you want to find out what's going on behind the scenes, follow Andrea's Instagram. It's Motormouth_Andrea. She lets you know when the videos are going to drop. And for me, it's Motormouth_Auto, and the links are below. This video is brought to you by Car Cost Canada. Get the dealer's cost, list of rebates, plus discounted interest rates. Use the promo code Motormouth to become an expert member and get extra searches. The link is in the description below. Andrea, I've got a confession.
What's that, Zach?
At the beginning, I said this car kind of fell through the cracks.
Yeah.
Not really. I just didn't really want to drive it because I thought, oh, how is that going to be? But you know what? After driving it, I was wrong. I'm pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, you know what? This is a fantastic little vehicle. It's compact. Lexus has done a great job with the drive. It handles really well, hugs the corners, it feels smooth and refined.
It does have some classic Lexus Toyota hybrid characteristics because it has a CVT. When you put your foot into it, you know, the engine makes a bit of noise, but for everyday city commuting, it gets amazing fuel economy. It feels well made, and it does feel like a Lexus, and all of those attributes you just mentioned. I think they did absolutely a good job. The only issue with this thing is it's small.
Yeah, it's wee. That's the only problem. But if you're a single person or this is being used as a second car, I think it would be fine.
You know who's going to buy this, Andrea? Empty nesters.
Yeah, empty nesters.
Kids have left, easy street. You're on the glide path of life. This is your ride.
One of our followers, she said, I am obsessed with my UX. I love it.
You know what I'm not obsessed with, Andrea?
What?
The way this thing looks. That's another reason I didn't drive it. I'm like, geez, could they kind of make it uglier?
Well,
I think it looks good. The grill's good. It's just those side fender flares, or it's way too busy.
Well, it's got an angular look, sharp styling to it. Yes, you've got the big front grille, and then you've got the LED headlights that look a little bit aggressive, especially at night. You'll see that in our nightlife pictures.
So this is based on the Toyota CHR. Now that's kind of a funky looking little beast as well. Is it ever? But when we get around to the back cargo area, first of all, in your key standard features, Andrea, no power liftgate is standard equipment.
No, you've got to go up to the luxury trim to get the power liftgate with the kick sensor. So that brings us to the interior. We think that the best value trim goes to the base model, which is what we have. Usually we always get the top trim.
It never happens that the base model is actually the best value. That's basically what we're in here. There's one $1,100 package they added to this that we don't think is really worth it. We could live without it. What's that?
Well, it's the Blackline Edition package. That's where on the interior you see all of this blue trim throughout and blue stitching. I think it looks good, but is it worth $1,100? And then the exterior, you get the black mirror caps, black wheels, and the black roof rails.
You know my thoughts on black wheels, so I'd happily not spend the $1,100 on that. But to get a base model that has all of the creature comforts except for the power liftgate, that's the one thing it's missing. I could live without that, knowing I saved to buy it and to run it.
If you add the luxury package for $5,300, that's where you're going to get features like driver seat memory, a wireless charger, the bigger screen. It's the 10.3-inch screen. This one is 7-inch. And you know what? It's a 7-inch screen in a bigger screen with a clock and some information about passenger airbags. I don't get it, Lexus.
You know what, though? I got a theory about big screens, because we're seeing massive screens, like in the Cadillac Escalade. How big was that? It was 16 inches or something?
16.9.
Yeah, so this huge screen. You know what the reality is? You're just taking the same information you use all the time. You're just making it bigger. You use the radio, you use your phone, you use a few other things, maybe a navigation screen. It's just a bigger version. This works. It works fine.
It works, but in a world of technology, when people want more for their money, Lexus has got to step up. This is not a touchscreen. It is controlled by the trackpad at the center console. It's a quirky center console. Even where the volume switch is different.
This is not used in any other Lexus product I've driven. I actually like it. I wish they would take this and put it in other vehicles. So you have these hot keys on the side and the top of the controller, so radio and media, and then you've got the rocker volume and tuning switches also in there, and you just sort of fiddle around with it with your hand. I think that's quite clever.
I'd like to see it gone myself.
Oh, I
don't want a trackpad anymore.
No, not the trackpad, the funnily little wheel thing.
I know, but if you have a touch screen and everything, I don't think you need this necessarily at the center
So Andrea wants
anymore.
a big touch screen and not this stuff.
I don't want this anymore. I want to see something like what's coming up in the new NX.
Can you get a full digital instrument cluster?
You can in the F Sport 1 package for $2,000. Then you kind of get that whole F Sport appearance package, exterior and interior. These are things you can add, but the price adds up quite quickly. And frankly, why not just then get an Audi Q3 fully loaded for $46,000?
But my opinion on the digital instrument clusters, it's kind of like overkill, because I guarantee you set it, you forget it. It's a toy when you first get the car. After a couple of weeks, you're like, it does the same as this.
Yeah, it does the same, but hey, why not have the extra tech if it's available?
You have some good questions. Let's drink some coffee and answer them.
Time now for questions, coffee, and cars.
Your questions from Instagram.
How is the wind and road noise with the highway speeds? Is it significantly better than the Venza or the RAV4? I think so. I think that the RAV4 is noisier.
The noisiest.
Yes, and then the Venza, and then this.
I did notice some tire noise, road noise in this car, but overall, I would say they did a very good job of making this a Lexus.
How is the rear seat legroom? Can you fit a rear-facing car seat? Well, you can fit anything. I mean, I've seen video with the rear car seat in there, and
I wouldn't use this for rear car seats. I don't know. You could stuff them in there.
You can fit. I saw a woman put 2 rear-facing car seats in. No one can sit in the middle because it's a really tight squeeze.
And the front seats have got to be moved up.
Yeah, they've got to be moved up a bit.
Okay.
She was about my height. And
listen.
when you put her in the passenger seat and the rear facing car seat behind, it was fine. But Zach's height, maybe not so much.
Just listen to Zach. If you have kids with rear-facing car seats, just go and get a RAV4 Hybrid. Because what comes with car seats and what comes with kids, Andrea?
Strollers.
And there's no
and
way
lots of stuff.
You're getting a couple of strollers or a double stroller in the back of this thing. The cargo space is pathetically small. So this is for empty nesters. Go get a RAV4 Hybrid. You'll be happy.
And if you prefer a luxury brand, you don't care about a hybrid, the X1 is a great alternative.
Why, Andrea?
It is #1 in cargo space and second row legroom. So that would be maybe a wise decision. What is the trunk cargo space? What would be a comparable model with the RAV4, Venza? Can't wait to see if the updated infotainment system, such a beaut.
I don't think there's any real competitor to this car. I think the closest one would be the Toyota, the CHR that this is based on. And the cargo space is pathetically small.
It's small, but it's a hybrid. That's the thing. There is no other hybrid in this luxury class, is there? I mean, you have no choice. If you want a hybrid, this is the one to get. But yeah, space is not so great. And that's it.
All right, if you want to get a question in, Motormouth_Andrea to follow along. And because you hear the music, it's time for Nightlife. we keep one question back from Questions, Coffee, and Cars and expand on it. It's our hot topic. What's this one, Andrea?
The UX is a wonderful little car, don't get me wrong, but I just don't think it has what it takes to compete with the GLA, XC40, X1, X2, etc. It's down on horsepower, and the only benefit is phenomenal fuel economy in the hybrid. Do you really think the UX is a worthy contender, or could a better comparison to the UX be something like a Buick Encore GX?
So can this compete, Andrea? Absolutely. Two main things. First of all, it's a Lexus, and that means you're going to have amazing resale value, you're going to have great dealer experience, and a very high quality vehicle, all wrapped in the most fuel efficient vehicle in this class.
Well, that's it. There's no other hybrid. So if you want a hybrid, you're going to get this within the luxury category. Now, when it comes to pricing compared to these other competitors, the Buick that you were speaking of does come fully loaded for about 33,000 Canadian. But the X1, the GLA, by the time you add some packages, which you could do with this, but we have discussed that the base model comes with a lot of standard features, your price really goes up. So there's really great value here, price point to price point with the base model.
Not a lot to buy it, not a lot to run it, great resale value, and it's a Lexus.
Yeah. Let's check out more of the competition.
For your consideration, 4 vehicles for you to consider.
Up first is the BMW X1, the original small luxury utility. It has a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine with an 8-speed automatic transmission, 228 horsepower, and a starting price of just under $40,000.
Next is the Mercedes-Benz GLA, 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder as well, and an 8-speed automatic transmission, 221 horsepower, and a starting price of almost $42,500.
The Audi Q3 has a 228 horsepower turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder with an 8-speed automatic transmission. It has a starting price of just over $39,000.
Next up is the Volvo XC40 with a turbo 2-liter 4-cylinder engine and an 8-speed automatic transmission, 248 horsepower, and a starting price of almost $43,000. So there are 4 compact SUVs for you to consider.
You know, Zach, you mentioned that there's a little bit of road noise from the tires. Well, they have run flat tires on this.
It's okay on super smooth pavement. You get on slightly bumpy pavement and it's noticeable. And you know what? This is such a small car. That's why they went for run flat tires. So we've already mentioned that the base model is the value trim. Let's get into the vital stats.
Let's start with pricing. The UX250 Hybrid starts at just over $40,000. Price as tested, $43,500. JD Power gives the Lexus UX Hybrid an overall score of 77 out of 100 and a quality and reliability score of 75 out of 100. The Lexus Canada online calculator shows the Lexus UX250 Hybrid will retain 49% of its value over 4 years.
Here's the important stuff: fuel economy. This Lexus gets 5.7 liters per 100 kilometers in the city and 6.2 on the highway. That's 41 miles per gallon in the city and 38 miles per gallon on the highway.
And Lexus offers a warranty of 4 years or 80,000 kilometers, 50,000 miles.
You know what? I put off driving this. I wish I had driven it earlier because I think the best way for me to describe it is kind of quirky.
Yeah, it's quirky for sure, especially the center console action here.
And the way it looks.
Yeah, and the way it looks. But you know what? I really like it. I think that it is fun to drive, and I am pleasantly surprised by this Lexus UX. Although the UX is a small vehicle, it certainly offers a lot of value.
This one surprised me. I came into this thinking, I'm not sure about the design, but once I drove it, I'm like, this would be a great little city car. This video is brought to you by Car Cost Canada. Get the dealer's cost, list of rebates, plus discounted interest rates. Use the promo code Motormouth to become an expert member and get extra searches. The link is in the description below.